Today I'm going to talk about these Starboard All-Star inflatables that we had for 2 years. And before I start, I just want to say that we are not sponsored in any way. We bought this board for our own money. So this is a review, what we think of using this board, just because we want to share it with you. These are race boards, but we don't race with them. We do fast touring, recreation, have a lot of fun with these boards. And you can follow us on this channel, SUP River Life, and see what we are doing with our boards. We call it a SUP Happiness Vlog because we think SUP for us means happiness. And don't forget to give this video a like. We really appreciate that, and thank you for your continuous support. So we have 3 boards. This one is a 12.5, 27 inch wide, 2020, and this one is a 14 foot, 26 from 2020, and this one is 14 by 24.5 from 2021. And this was my main board for 2020, and now Erika has this one and I have this one as my main board, and 2020 Erika had this one, and now we have this for the kids. When it comes to inflate these boards, we don't do that so much. We have had these boards inflated for over a year now, and you got this pump. And we don't use this so much. We use Red Paddle's Titan, that we think is a better pump. When I bought this board, I didn't find any instruction about this cable and the tension with these hooks, and I still doesn't have anything how it will more tension or less tension affect the boards. And when it comes to durability of these boards, I have nothing to complain about. We ran over some stones several times, and you can see on this 24.5 inch board that it's just some scratches. If this was a hard board, it had been big problem and I needed to repair it. And when it comes to durability, I think the nose cone is the only problem that we have had, and that is we got some cracks here in the nose cones, and I don't blame Starboard for that because we use them kind of hardcore with breaking ice and have a lot of fun here in our backyard. And when it comes to stiffness of this board, these stringers should help, and also the cable. Starboard says how it works, I don't know, but it's really stiff boards, the stiffest board that we have ever paddled. So we really love that. The sidewalls of these boards are really good to have. When you have ice slippery board, you can lean your feet against here and don't risk to fall into the water. And we really appreciate that. In choppy water, you also can lean your feet here and get better control of the board. Really good to have these sidewalls. The downside of the sidewall is when you pack the board, deflate it, it will take bigger space. But for us that have them inflated almost all the time, it's not a big problem. And the side handles are really good for us to have. I stick the paddle in here and walk to the river like this. And you see the board is really good balance with the center handle. I think that is the best board I ever had, that is so good balanced with everything. So how is this board to paddle on the water? Well, they performs really good. These are the best board that we ever have had. We have had several other inflatables. We have tested other inflatables, and we even had a hardboard race board, but still we like this board the best. If you compare to the hardboard, these are a little lighter, and it seems like if they are lighter they go better upstreams. It's more easy to paddle upstreams in the river, and I really enjoyed that, because if the hardboard was faster downstream it doesn't matter so much, but when you go back upstreams it really matters if it's easier or not. And these boards are so good both in downwind and upwind, and in side shop they are really good. Sometimes the 24.5 in side shop is a little gnarly to have, but when I have tested the 26 I think that's too boring, so I still will go with the 24.5 inch wide. I am 71 kilo heavy and 174 centimeters high, and it was a big jump for me when I went from 26 down to 24.5 compared to when I went from 30 down to 26. So I needed more time to be stable on the 24.5. And what to say, width can really matter, and you need to think about the width of the board. And if you load up your board with gears, the wider board you have, the more forgiving it will be how you pack your board. And sometimes it can be a little gnarly with a narrow board if your gear on the board will move while you are paddling. For recreation stuff, it's really good boards. I really love the sidewalls even here, because you can put stuff like your fika, tea and things, and it will stay on the board. So that is really good. And you can lay on the board and enjoy the sun. A big thing for me is that Starboard have environmental programs. They care about their production, that it will be carbon neutral or maybe positive, and that they pick trash, take plastic from the ocean just as I do in the river, and that they also reuse the plastic and make these products. So that means a lot for me when I choose these boards. For the future, I wish for this All-Star inflatable to become more like the hardboards, both with the channel underneath and also for the fin box, so it will be inside the board. I hope you can do that, Starboard. If you live in Sweden, you can buy these boards from Surfspot in Stockholm. I recommend them. They have good service. I put a link down in description. I really hope that you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Thanks for watching, and see you on the water.